Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Prepared Mind channel. We're back. It is Sunday. It is the zoo. And I tell you, it is the zoo. We're on the Prepared Mind. The Prepared Mind. We're on the Prepared Mind. But YouTube, thepreparedmind.club, subscribestar.com, Facebook, and all manner of, social media. The objective is for everyone to be able to find us somewhere so you can watch, share the internet address or link or however it can be shared, because we're at that phase of the game. It's no longer about getting views. It's about getting people to wake up and realize the trouble we are in. It is time. The unprepared mind is checked in as well. That's just great. Here we go, folks. We've got a lot to learn. A lot is going on. I really am counting on you. Share the internet address, thumbs up, and you have to be a subscriber just to chat on YouTube or YouTube. We have 2 YouTube channels. And if you want to get your comments on the screen, like this, I'll make you famous. I'll put you on the screen. But there's a super chat button right up there. And the only place with that super chat button is the Prepared Mind channel on YouTube that has 5,170 subscribers. The other YouTube channel with almost 80,000 subscribers, they took away all manner of support. Now, look, if you want to get on the screen, you got something really important to say. Every week we start off with Chin Music. We start off with Darcy T, because they do Venmo, CashApp, or PayPal down below. That's right. In the video description, you can join with that as well. That'll get you onto the screen. There's a lot of different ways to support. And what are we supporting here? Right? What is it? Shit has hit the fan. You've got to be prepared. Who is the enemy? Who's on our side? These are all questions we address all the time, all week. And then also, of course, Sunday Night Live, the zoo right now. It is about educating people, keeping them up to date, and thinking. Now it's not just me here, right? There's an audience of thousands and thousands and thousands of people who at one time or another during the week are going to check in. And what do they look at? They'll listen to what I have to say, but they'll also read the comment section. You guys down below, what you say is absolutely critical, because it's no longer just me saying it. It's you guys saying it, talking about it, adding to the discussion. And by getting you on the screen, it just makes it that much more powerful. That much more powerful to have you guys on the screen sharing your thoughts. So let's see if I can do this one the right way here. We're going to have some fun here. Okay, let's try this. Hey, it's no, I did it wrong. No, I didn't. I did it right. Chin Music checks in with a $53. Well, it's actually 6 cents. That was a typo on the John's part. He did a 30-06. $50. Oh, for all of you unaware, a $50 super chat buys me a scotch. And I tell you what, a couple scotches during the show go a long way in keeping the Spam and tuna fish in the pantry, in the Prepared Mind bunker, as well as keeping my my brains limber and my tongue tuned up. Here's to you, Chin Music. Oh, and right out the gate, we're doing very, very well. Okay, boomer down. We got a boomer down. What? Okay, here we are, folks. Time for Chin Music. He says, so gay for war, light in them loafers, Lindsey Grahamnesty died suddenly of a heart attack? His last speech was given at a Ukrainian drone factory, which was bombed just hours after he left by Russia. My first instinct was to comb his recent statements to see if he had turned on Israel. But does anybody buy the official story? Does anyone believe anything anymore? Look at the Charlie Kirk evidence trial. Weird on weird on weird. I want to move to the RMZ. The RMZ looked like this behind me. That's the RMZ. It was tropical, out of the country, in the middle of the fucking jungle, a few miles from water. The RMZ. This is driving us all nuts. We can't get the truth. We can't get reliability. We have no accountability. We have no justice. We don't own this fucking country anymore. What's the point, right? We either move, and we're not all going to fit at the RMZ or any other small country. We're not going to fit. So what do we do, right? So let's start with chin music. Now, of course, the bigger the super chat donation, of course, the bigger the answer. Gilligan's Island. Thank you, Robin. So he says, he died suddenly of a heart attack. So people looked into this. Senator Lindsey Graham, who just a couple weeks ago went to Disney World in Florida, and was strolling around holding little girls' toys. What a fruitcake. Anyways, he heads over to Ukraine, visits a drone factory where drones are being manufactured to bomb Russian civilians. And I listened to his speech over there. It's a typical Lindsey Graham, let's kill everyone, it's a good thing speech. And that he was going to come back to America and really push some legislation to punish Russia, as if the United States already isn't doing everything they can to punish Russia. So that wasn't it. He didn't turn on Israel, but he did and has been calling for the death of Russians. And if you remember one of his speeches from just a few months ago, he said the money that was spent killing Russians was the best money America has ever spent. One of the coldest, slimiest piece of shit things to say. Yes, killing the enemy is what our military is supposed to do. But we're giving people money and weapons, and they're doing the killing indiscriminately. Interesting stuff. Good golly. Right? And then, died of a heart attack suddenly. Because people look at the speech he did in Ukraine, he seemed perfectly healthy. Well, when you die suddenly from the clot shot, right, a heart attack, you are fine until you're not. Soccer players, football players, basketball players, hockey players, tennis players, any fucking sports player, track stars, women, men, old, young, didn't matter. They're fine until, bam, they fall over fucking dead. Fucking dead. Just like that. So last week, it has not been independently verified 3 different ways, but it was said he went and got another shot. He got his booster. Yeah, I'm sure it was monkeypox related, because last week I think he also had his fudge packed, according to Mike in the comments here. But if he got a booster, he could have died of a clot shot. But he was in Ukraine. He was at a munitions factory that's making drones that have been killing Russian civilians. So is it possible that he actually got killed in Ukraine in a factory, and they shipped somebody else back, or somebody put on a dumbass Lindsey mask and flew back as Lindsey Graham? All he had to do is hop, skip, and jump and do the limp-wristed thing, and everyone would be like, oh, yeah, that's our boy Lindsey. He's back. And now they're trying to use Lindsey Graham. He's trying to use Lindsey Graham, the President of the United States, Washington, D.C. Oh, Lindsey Graham, he wanted this piece of legislation or that piece of legislation. We need to do this to honor Lindsey Graham. He's the most beautiful dude on the whole planet, yada, yada, yada. Lindsey Graham, this guy right here on the left, the little twink there, the little twink next to, well, the big creep. Yeah, Lindsey Graham. Look at that. I mean, Benjamin Netanyahu is no giant stud, but look at little Lindsey. Isn't he such a cute little fruitcake? Well, he is a fruitcake. In any event, folks, it's a war over there. Drones are killing civilians on both sides. Military is killing people on both sides. Do we need to be involved with killing as a country? They can't handle it on their own. They seem to be doing just fine. Anyways, enough of this shit. Did he have a heart attack or not? Don't know. But I don't believe the official story. If it's the official story, it's a fucking lie. Period. It's a lie. It's a lie. Okay, the official story on John F. Kennedy, right? JFK. It was a magic bullet, a bullet that took 6 seconds to travel through 2 bodies, creating 7 different wounds. One bullet that ended up falling out onto a stretcher undamaged after going through at least 3 fucking bones. Through the neck bones, out through the chest, through the ribs, out through the ribs, hitting a wrist, coming out of the wrist, and into the leg. I mean, that's a lot of bones. Yeah, Yankee Watchdog, I agree with you. I bet it was monkeypox. Oh, man, these fucking people, I swear. Okay, anyways, we got a lot to talk about here. A lot to talk about next. Next, I'd like to bring, Darcy T. Darcy T. Yeah, hang on here. This is Darcy. Shit. And would you look at that? Oh, it's Darcy T. $50 PayPal super chat donation. Every week, Darcy and everyone, you guys are all here. Everyone's here. Big Dan the Man, Heidi, Viking, Nancy. There's just too many to remember. Robin, Soft Kitty, I can't remember. Now I did it. My mistake. I shouldn't have said anything because now I can't remember everybody. Anyways, Darcy has this to say. The big question. The questions are the big enchilada for the world. Lindsay is wait. No, that was my answer. What do we got? Okay. Here we go. Good evening, John. Here is my question for tonight's Zoo. Now that Lindsey Graham and most likely Mitch McConnell have assumed room temperature, what do you reckon will happen with their open seats? So we will be talking about Senator Mitch Turtles McConnell and his current situation. We just talked about Lindsey Graham. We'll get to Mitch, but she's asking what's going to happen with their open seats. Well, with an election coming, a regular election, it is my understanding that when someone vacates a seat, either through resignation or death, when they vacate that seat, they leave. It goes up to a general election. And everyone can jump on the ballot. I believe anyone and everyone. It doesn't have to go through a primary process, etc. So Mitch McConnell, same state as, Congressman Massey. That's right. One of the few actual vote for Americans, whether you like his policies or not, right? He's not on the payroll for, terrorists around the world or communists around the world. Anyways, right? So Thomas Massey could pick up Mitch McConnell's seat. We'll get into that in some more detail. But now Lindsey Graham, who is known to be dead, it's been confirmed over and over and over by multiple politicians, the president, the news, right? There's no doubt he's gone. Well, the citizens of North Carolina were stupid enough to continuously elect that fucking punk. But now it looks like former congressional representative Nancy Mace, or she's still congressional representative Mace Yeah, we know Trump doesn't want Massey. I don't care what Trump wants. I'm not picking on you, Simon. I don't care what any of these politicians want. I want for America what's good for America. Right? Nancy Mace, she's got her problems. Thomas Massey, he's got his problems. Everyone has problems. But can they do the fucking job? Can they serve the people? Can they put America first, America only? Right? It's funny how we went from Make America Great Again to America First. Pardon me. To having to say America only. Right? Screw everyone else till we fix our problems. Yeah, courageous cat. You're all here. And then we got chin music. Everyone's in the house. Everyone. Anyways, what will happen with their open seats? Darcy, I got to tell you, it should go right to the election. Right to the election. Those names go onto the ballot. The people vote. The winner is the winner. I'm sure the governor would like to say the governor gets to pick. I don't know if it's up to the state constitution at that point. This is one of those gray areas because normally senators are good enough to resign and someone steps into their position, right? I think Senator Byrd passed away in office. Strom Thurmond passed away. Some of these fossils, right? Some of these fossils just won't go away. But they're usually not so politically involved that the nation gives a shit. But, these days, everyone gives a shit. We want our country back. And Mitch McConnell has been a thorn in the side of the Constitution for years, and he won't go away, even though he was both doing the robot freeze and the fall down robot move multiple times, injuring himself left and right. And then he had the disrespectful sense to stop moving and breathing at his own home, but still won't die. Thanks, Mike. Take another shot. Woo! I tell you, here we are. What is going to happen with those open seats? They're going to get filled. Are they going to get filled by people Trump wants? I don't know. He did a real good job picking Amy Coney Barrett, don't you think? He did a real great job pushing, Lindsey Graham. Well, he's a giant piece of shit. Well, I don't want anyone Trump recommends or Mitch McConnell recommends. I'm sure Mitch McConnell is going to recommend someone to replace him. Oh, wait till that comes up. Well, before he died, Mitch said that he wanted this fucking clown to be the guy. He just happens to be all China all the time, right? Because his wife is Chinese. Yeah, Mitch goes to the hospital because he's not dead, and his wife leaves for China. Literally, his wife leaves for China. That makes sense. Make it make sense. You can't. You can't make it make any fucking sense. Good golly. Okay. Thank you, Darcy T. And now we're going to roll on over here to Big Dan the Man Erickson. $5 super chat donation. Oh, I'm going to do it again. Share the internet address. Hit the share button down below or share the internet address, the URL. Share. Friends, family, loved ones, co-workers. Wake them up. They need to wake up. There's so much to talk about. From politics to social crap to cultural crap to educational crap to military crap. Economic, we got a lot of crap, a lot of shit. And it's hit the fan. So Dan brings up this topic. Interesting. He says, that pilot instructor that jumped out of the plane and the student had to land it, wonder what his problem was. This was interesting. Up until the woke shit, I've seen every James Bond movie in my lifetime. And when they have planes, the pilots like to bail out. Like on You Only Live Twice. He bailed out. Or no, that was the female pilot. Other pilots bailed out, right? They bail out. How do you do that? It's not easy. You got to put on a parachute. You got to find a door somewhere that'll open while you're doing anywhere from 100 to 200 miles an hour. Yeah, so this pilot, the students in the plane with the instructor who somehow says, you know what, fuck you, I'm out of here. Jumps out. The student does an emergency landing, lives. I think the plane was saved too. It was a pretty good landing, I guess, for a student. Is that a crime? Jumping out of an airplane? I would think it would be. Right? This happened several days ago, folks. It was either Thursday or Friday. And I read about it and I thought, what the hell is going on? Was the student, pissing the pilot off? I saw a picture of a pilot with this news story to accompany the news story. And he's wearing regular captain's clothes, got his little fake military uniform on as an airline pilot in like a jet cockpit. And I'm like, you can't just jump out of a jet cockpit. And students don't fly fucking passenger jets as part of their, at least, well, maybe it was at a school. Fuck, I don't know. I just don't know enough about this, but it is a bizarre story, Dan. Because I didn't read. Was the pilot captured? Was he arrested? Was he suffering from PTSD? Did he scream "Aloha snack bar" when he jumped out? I don't know. I just don't know. Weird. If I was Johnny Carson, I'd say that's weird, wild stuff. All right. Let's step on up to Nancy Gagg. Step $50 super chat. You know what that means? It means I get another scotch. Thank you, little sister. All right. Well, here we go. And oh, yes, sir. There it is. All right. Nancy has been a great subscriber supporter for many years, just like Dan and Darcy and Chin Music and all. Here's to you, Nancy. It just gets better every single time. There you go. 250th anniversary of the United States Marine Corps. Nancy says, keep missing live streams, but watch later most times. No need to worry about it, Nancy. You do great. You do great. She says, so much to do and so little time left to get things done anymore. It feels like that. It feels like, holy crap, things are going very bad. I've got to get ready. I've got a deadline. Well, I felt like that at many times through life. Right when the Clintons were elected, I was like, I better get some ammo. We're talking early 90s. I rushed to get approximately 8,000 rounds of ammunition, handgun, and 5.56. And then Y2K came along in 1999. Got to a feverish pitch that the world was going to end, possibly. So I panicked, right? Just like everyone else at the last second, went out and bought all kinds of stuff, generators, food, supplies. It was good, right? Ended up eating all the food, used the generator. But Y2K didn't hit. And then we had the 2008 Obama economic crash, right? My whole life there's been a need to be prepared, and then there's been events that really push us. So you don't have to panic, but if the big enchilada happens, if the crushing, destructive Mad Max moment comes, you definitely need to be as ready as possible. So, Nancy says, seems like so little time left to get anything done. Could be needing beans, bullets, and bandages sooner than we think. Semper Fi, Prepared Mind family, and John. Yes, to you too as well, Nancy. Beans, bullets, and bandages. That's the 3 Bs, right? Or as I say, I've got a lot more to it. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and your plan. And there's just so much to it. What do you need? And we don't know, right? The Russian war could break out bigger because Europe wants to make it a world war. They don't have any money. They don't have a military. They don't have any fucking brains. So how are they going to fight a war against Russia, who has a wartime economy? Literally, they've got an economy now built to support a war effort. Whereas Europe, the only thing they can do is import garbage. And I mean that in a literal sense. The Iran war could really get hot as well. Except Russia, China, and, well, even North Korea are willing and wanting to help down there. And who is on that one? Well, it's the United States backing Israel. Neither of which are willing to go all the way, but hell, maybe they will, and start World War III down there. And that's just the war side of SHTF. You got economics, you've got localized terrorism, national terrorism, assassinations. You could have a cyber attack on banking systems, just a cyber attack on the entire fuel system, energy system, communications, everything. So it's good to be prepared now with all those items you need. But it's up here. It's your head where you need to be prepared. Something bad happens, you know what you need to do right away. After 2 or 3 days if something bad happens, you know or should know what you need to be doing. You don't need to be out in public 3 days after things have gone really bad trying to get goods. Because by the time 3 days comes, everybody's going to be panicking. Very good. Thank you, Nancy. It's always good having you on the show. Let's get into it, folks. This, oh, by the way, the thepreparedmind.club, if you need food or water, shelter ideas, concepts, clothing, books, knowledge, medical, medicine, first aid, self-defense, generators, solar power, radio, communications, all these things are at the club. You can go there, click a button. It'll take you to various stores and websites. They'll handle the rest. You just have to make the purchase and they'll ship it right to you. Get prepared at the club. I don't have a warehouse. Don't want a warehouse. I don't have time for that. I already have enough jobs. Anyways, you guys, it's your show. Share the internet address and get more people here watching it. And be sure to be a subscriber and thumbs up. Thumbs up doesn't cost you anything. A regular subscriber on the thepreparedmind.club, the Prepared Mind, doesn't cost anything. And I'm gonna start pushing everyone from the regular Prepared Mind, has 79,000 subscribers. Get subscribed at the other Prepared Mind with 5,100 subscribers. Get subscribed there also as backup. We need both channels as backup on the YouTube side of the program. For obvious reasons, they're full of shit and they'll kill us or try killing us anytime they want. We cannot trust these people. That's why we should also be on BitChute, Rumble, Instagram, Twitter. We're on Facebook, everywhere we can, just to keep this channel alive, keep the information flowing. And that really is what scares the leading or leadership class folks, is they're afraid of knowledge. They're afraid of you being informed. You see, they want to tell you what to believe, and you'll have no other alternative to believe the official sources. That's what they want. They want you to believe official sources. Right? They want to tell you officially Mitch McConnell is alive. They're not going to admit he's dead. They don't want to, because a very, very popular congressional candidate can step right in and become a U.S. senator in the state of Kentucky. They don't want that. So people have been asking for proof of life of Senator Mitch Turtles McConnell. And so several politicians, including that great sack of shit, lying piece of crap Senator John Toon, fake Republican, and other senators said, oh, yeah, we talked to him. And the number they gave, I talked to him for 20 minutes. And was it Jennings? Is that his fucking name of CNN? Said he talked to Mitch McConnell for 20 minutes. Mitch couldn't give a 30-second speech without stuttering and wandering off from the podium, much less hold a conversation for 20 fucking minutes. Unbelievable. So we want proof of life, folks. Is the man alive or is he dead? Well, we got a picture from Mitch McConnell from the hospital bed. You got it. Mitch is alive and well. There he is. He's waving hi to everybody. That's our good buddy, Mitch McConnell, senator, still alive, right? Yeah, I don't believe it either, folks. There was an ambulance video that was released that was taken by someone on the street at the across the street from the McConnell residence. The emergency medical services did not rush. There was no CPR being done to Mitch as he was wheeled out, trying to keep his body alive. There was some kind of orange wrap or blanket or some kind of freaking orange, and his feet were sticking out. When the ambulance pulled off, there were no sirens. They were not blaring this. There should have been sirens and police escort and jets and rockets and bombs and everything, making sure McConnell made it to the hospital, right? So if this super duper, we can't live without him, Senator Mitch McConnell, if he was in critical condition, that ambulance would have been hauling ass, lights, sounds, everything, right? But don't worry. Don't worry. We now have proof of life photography for you. Thank you. His nickname is Seven Fingered Mitch. By the way, that fucking guy. Do you believe it? Well, I don't believe anything. I don't believe anything. I don't believe anything coming from the mainstream media. As far as social media, I don't like YouTube. I don't like Rumble. I don't like BitChute. I don't like X. I don't like any of them. But what else do we have to communicate? What else do we have on which to communicate the way we do now? We're literally right now live around the world, down in Australia, New Zealand, all the way up in Canada, way over into Europe. We've had people get a hold of us out of Russia and China. The only place that I haven't got a response from right now is Antarctica. Antarctica. No one has ever said, I'm in Antarctica and we listen, or I listen. Even I secretly listen to you from Antarctica, right? Wow. Yeah. So we're everywhere, folks. We're everywhere. Whatever you want to watch, talk about, listen to, think about, etc. Super chat button up there, and then down below again, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. You can get on the screen, but the preparedmind.club is where you go to get ready, folks. It's where you go to get ready. Now, what else is going on in the world? A lot of stuff is going on in the world. A lot of things are happening, folks. More than just Mitch McConnell and more than just Senator Lighten the Loafers. We've got a lot of things going on. I want everyone to remember. I want to show you this picture. It's really important. See that picture? Let me remind you of what that is. That is a bunch of law enforcement and security guards attacking an American. Do you know what that American's crime was? Exercising the right to breathe. Right? Never forget, folks, that police, politicians, Karens, socialist Democrats, they assaulted, they strangled, they beat, and they arrested normal people for doing nothing more than breathing oxygen during COVID. Never forget what was done. Never forget any excuse that they've given. Never believe anything they say. Well, John, we were all scared and it could have been deadly. No, they told us it was deadly and it wasn't. They said it could be spread through the air and it couldn't, and it couldn't, it couldn't, and it could, and it couldn't. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask, wear a mask, wear many masks. Hell, wear 4 or 5 masks. Folks, the virus is so small that wearing the mask is the equivalent of trying to stop mosquitoes with a chain link fence. Really, quite fucking literally. They don't do a bit of fucking good. They're not a biological weapons respirator. And folks, a virus compared to a bacteria, which is itself too fucking small for the mask. Viruses are even smaller than bacteria. They're infinitesimally tiny. Doesn't mean they're not deadly, but the masks were a joke. But people were attacked. literally. But don't ever forget, this is exactly how evil people act. Exactly. They're going to behave this way, viciously, violently. They're going to attack people and arrest people, and they'll even fucking murder you if they get a chance. Remember, anything, folks, that isn't freedom is evil. There is no such thing as, well, it's kind of necessary good evil. Socialism, Marxism, Muhammadism, Talmudism, they're all death cults. They're death fucking cults. Right? The same women that would attack you for not wearing a mask in a fucking store would say, you're going to kill people. The first thing they'll do is go kill babies and abortions. They'll fucking kill you for being a Trump supporter. But how dare you not wear a mask? It is a death cult. And I want you to remember this picture. An American being arrested for doing nothing more than exercising the right to live and breathe air. Don't forget it. Now, I'm going to give you one more. It's a very similar picture. Here you have police surrounding and arresting someone. And it was a video clip that it was kind of, I got a still shot out of it. But this one is a Christian man. Yes, he wasn't wearing a mask, but now we're no longer in COVID days. But he was standing outside and preaching. Now, is that his right? Yes. Could it irritate you? Yes. Is it a crime? No. Is it illegal? No. But guess where he was standing and talking about his belief systems? He was outside of a stadium, a sports stadium full of people. What were the people doing? Screaming and yelling and cheering and making fucking noise. So what's his crime? His crime wasn't preaching Christianity. It was, well, he violated the noise ordinance. Folks, the people in the stadium are screaming so loud they can be heard for fucking blocks in every direction. But this guy, he was so loud he was violating the noise ordinance. Folks, it's about free speech. It's about being free. The battle is on. In Europe, they are arresting people for what? For being too loud, for being a civil disturbance. For offending people. You see, that's what a noise ordinance is about. It's about what level of noise can you make as an individual that's offensive. Right? Right? It becomes so loud you're doing more than just speaking, right? You're interrupting the whole world. You know, like Muslims call to prayer that can be heard for fucking miles. That's not a noise ordinance violation. Oh, it is. But how dare you stand there and speak about a civilized, peaceful religion? Unbelievable. Again, you know, when I go down the street, I hear all kinds of shit I don't like. I mean, I don't care to hear street preachers, but it's their right. Right? But, you know, if we want to talk about being offended and offensive and violating other people's good senses, I hate seeing and smelling and listening to Muslims and Talmudists and third world scum who I find repulsive to all the senses. And they're now allowed to be in public speaking their garbled language, offending all of my senses with how they look and how they smell and how they sound, how they walk, how they behave. I can't fucking stand these people. Any of them. But I don't say anything. It's their right to live. Now, it's not their right to be in my country if they're here illegally, but I don't make any assumptions. I don't make any assumptions. But I can't stand them. But it's not a crime, apparently, unless you're a white Christian male. And this is in the United States of America. Again, England, they've been arresting people for waving a British flag, for standing too close to Muslims in one of their take up the street fucking functions. Right? You can get arrested for creating a post that you think is private. You can send private messages to private friends, and the police will invade without a warrant and check up and to see what you're saying and then go arrest you for it. Fuck that. We're getting closer to it here. Once again, person getting arrested for exercising a right. Person getting arrested for exercising a right. The government has no authority to tell you to wear a mask or you'll be arrested. Or no surfing out in the water. Or no being on a boat out at fucking ocean. Or being on a beach all alone. Or in a fucking park hiking in the mountains. All of that's illegal. Because COVID. Oh, good God. What it was about locking us down and taking our rights and seeing if we'll fucking tolerate it. Take a look. Take a look. Take a look. This is what they want for you. This is what they want for you. You know what the fucking answer is to that? This right here. Yep, you guessed it. If you guessed it, if you didn't, you should have guessed it. What we're looking at there is flock cameras. Flock down, right? Yeah, that's right. These four were taken from the same city. Ashland, Ohio. Now, what I'm going to tell you I like about Ashland, Ohio, is, well, all of Ohio, is I've never met anyone from Ohio who is 100% sane. Everyone I've ever met from Ohio has got a couple screws loose. Good. That's what makes Americans American. And I don't mean that as a pejorative statement. The Ashland, Ohio police are investigating the crime of multiple flock cameras being damaged across the city. It occurred late Wednesday night and into early Thursday morning. Here we are. When officers arrived, according to the news story, they reported that it appears someone had driven through a flock camera. Right? Yeah, they fucking ran it down. That is good stuff. Good. Good. I'm tired of apologizing for Americans doing American things that need to be done. And this incident here, this incident in Ohio, it's not a single city that's having problems. It's not a single state or even a single geographical region in America. This is a quiet revolt. See the Declaration of Independence. Read about the Boston Tea Party. This is a quiet revolt across America. This type of thing, cutting down flock cameras, is becoming our Boston Tea Party of our time. 250 years later, 2026. It's now started. This right here, folks, this is the external manifestation of anger at tyranny and violating our rights and fucking us over and stealing our country and stealing our money and subjecting us to criminals everywhere. In government, in the bureaucracy, on the fucking street, with these illegals, everything. Corporations are screwing us all to death and people are getting sick and tired of it. And this is a way to reject it. Now, when I grew up, I thought, oh, okay, they're throwing tea in Boston, Boston Tea Party, right? That's a big deal. They got mad at the king, so a bunch of guys left their lodge and dressed up like Indians. Oh, yeah, dressed up like Indians. They wore disguises. And they went down to the harbor. They snuck aboard a ship. All ships have watch, fire watch, security details. They went on board the ship. Did they smack somebody on the head? Did they bribe him? Was he one of the people that dressed up as an Indian and came back? And they threw the fucking tea in the harbor so the king didn't get his taxes. Well, and the people didn't get their tea. But it was seen as an act of revolt, revolution against tyranny, an act of aggression towards the shall we say, tyrant in charge. What's going on with the flock cameras, folks, is every bit as important and real at this point, and as close as we can get to the Boston Tea Party, because it's being done anonymously. It is being done in the night. I'm sure there's people out there that are doing it in the day as well, but it's being done at night. People are wearing disguises, just like the Boston Tea Party. They came out at night. They were wearing disguises, and they said, fuck you to the king, and we're going to take away something from you, right? In this case, we're taking information away, the ability to track us, to hurt us, and cops are misusing it. Corporations are selling the information. The police are using it to stalk girlfriends, ex-girlfriends, ex-wives, to harass people they don't like. Oh, yeah, folks. Fuck the flocks. Carport Carl, F the flock, right? They can get the flock out of here. Anyways, it is, folks. And I tell you what, I'm going to recommend this. Go get one of those nice latex masks, or get a high-quality mask that looks like, I don't know, Trump, Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell, Robert De Niro. No nads, get a mask of an important and famous person to wear. And go ahead and have some fun with your local flock cameras. I'm not telling anyone to break a law. I'm saying have fun with them. Because I can't tell you to break the law or do anything harmful or dangerous. But you know what? Fuck these people. Fuck them all. Every last one of these people. I'm going to tell you what. I've had the same email address since I started this channel, The Prepared Mind, with Gmail. Right? Go ahead and get your free email. I've been using it since at least 2013. At least since 2013, which is when I started this channel. And they've been telling me that it's full. Oh, you've got 15 gigabytes. You're 99.9% full. You did, right? You have to give us money or erase stuff. I erased every last fucking thing. Every last thing. Everything in every file folder, every drive, photos, videos, everything. It is completely, there's nothing left to erase today. And they're still telling me it's 99% full. Everything is about these corporations fucking us over and taking advantage of us. Just like this channel. It doesn't matter what social media network we're on. They're making money off of us. They're putting commercials, ads, whatever you want to call it. They're collecting information on me and you and everyone else, and they're selling it. They make money off of us and then tell us, fuck you, you're bad people. That's the problem. It's the absolute problem with the whole system. And the government says that's fine. And I know, hey, you want to use their service, then blah, 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 blah. They should be able to do whatever they want. You signed up. You agreed to it. Yeah, and they also promised to be good and to do things as well. You can have free internet, right? Blah, blah, blah. Now they're trying to charge me. They want 30 or 40 bucks a year just to have an email. I've got nothing stored there now. Nothing. It's ridiculous, folks. And it's going to continue to be stupidly fucking ridiculous. Stupidly ridiculous. Okay, let us continue. Big Dan the Man is back, and he says, hey, John. Oh, $2 super chat donation. Back to the pilot who jumped out of the plane, leaving a student pilot to try and figure out how to steer it back to the airport and land it safely. Dan says the pilot that jumped had no parachute. He's dead. That's quite fascinating. Sounds like the pilot had a problem. I don't think sitting there with that student was enough to drive him to kill himself. I mean, even if the student didn't take a shower for 5 days and really stank bad, that wouldn't be enough to kill yourself. Unless the student was a psychic, was reading his mind and, telling him how, he had a Oedipal complex and whatever other, and no, you can't, right, no one is Hannibal Lecter and going to talk you into killing yourself or choking on your own tongue. That's not how the game's played. So he already had a problem. But he thought, you know what? I'm out of my fucking mind crazy. I'm suicidal. I've got my problems. And folks, I am sympathetic to normal people with suicidal problems. I am not sympathetic to people who are whacked out of their fucking skulls, crazy as a fucking name it. But then they want to hurt other people in the process, right? I'm all for you go ahead and kill yourself, but leave everyone else alone. This motherfucker took a plane up, right, that probably belonged to the school, the pilot school, and was willing to let it crash and kill this fucking student. I mean, look, he could have said, stay outside the plane, I'm going to fire it up, and he took the plane out of the hangar, and he could have just taken off without the kid and student, just killed himself. But he was trying to kill this fucking kid. Or, Big Dan, was he mind controlled? Was he mind controlled? We may never know. We may never know. Folks, I want to thank Mr. T for continuing to do really cool graphics and promos. You guys have seen this, of course. Well, I sure hope you've seen this right here. You've seen this here and this here, but how about this one here? And this one here and this one here. Right? We've got lots of stuff, right? Anyways, I wanted to share those with you. Thank you, Mr. T, for putting together more great materials. Of course, he's getting really good at making me look rather grisly and shit. Pretty darn grisly. I don't know if you can see that. That's pretty grisly, right? I'm looking rather rather weathered and aged. Thank you, Mr. T. It does. I look more like an action hero when I look all fucked up and tired and beat up. Anyways, we're talking about people that hurt others, right? Now, a few minutes ago in America, I talked about how police and the government are more than willing to violate our rights in order for them to get what they want out of us, right? But we've got other problems. Ashland, Ohio, good luck in getting rid of all of your flock cameras, despite your pieces of shit government, trying to destroy us. Oh my good. Where do I go next? Is this it? Is this what we want to talk about? I think so. I think this is it. These people that want to hurt others, this is going to blow you away. Look at this picture. Let's see. There's Dad on the left with his glasses, kind of squinting out there in the sun, and looks like Mom is wearing sunglasses along with her jacket and hoodie to stay warm. And that person wearing the dog hat with the tattoo and some kind of dog harness. Yeah, there's some sick fucking people out there. These people are from the Netherlands and is being called a fucking nightmare. So the dog on the right is a 15-year-old girl. And she is a trans boy, meaning she's a girl who wants to be a boy. And she also wants to be a dog, so she's a furry. And these two parents here, she decided she was going to brutally fucking murder. And then she took pictures of her gruesome, dead, bloody parents and sent them to her classmates. So let's go over the highlights here. A 15-year-old girl, a teenager from the Netherlands, who decided she's going to be a transgender and then also a doggy, decided she's going to murder her parents and then send pictures to people she knows in school. How is any of that even remotely fucking normal? Well, let me tell you what culture believes this is normal behavior. Israelis think this is completely fucking normal. Transgenderism, homosexuality, sexual perversion, and degeneracy. Now, killing your parents, well, that's not specifically in the Talmud or any religion thing, but yeah, you can kill people as long as you hate them enough. It's just ridiculous. These fucking people are ridiculous. They're pushing this mental deranged shit. And it's happening, folks. At the same time, the government is pushing what? The replacement of us all with a bunch of wackos from other countries that are third world inbred. There you go, inbreeding. In other words, having sex with your sister or your mom or whatever and making more kids. These are some sick fucking people, and they want to run the world. Well, they're culling themselves in a way. And I feel bad for a lot of these parents because the parents, it would seem half the parents want their kids to be gay and fucked in the head. And this is the kids that decide they're going to screw up their lives. And the other half, they don't. They're just normal parents, and the kids believe their teachers and their friends and whatever they're seeing on the internet. And here we are. Just fucking unbelievable. Unbelievable. Are you prepared for this to continue to get out of hand? Because it is. It's going to get out of hand. And one more time, while we're talking about this particular group of people, these wacko fruitcake fuckheads, are you prepared for what they're going to do? Well, you need to get prepared for what they're going to do because it's not going to stop. It isn't. Do you know who this guy is? Has anyone heard of this guy? Last name is Page. Anyone know who this guy is? Well, this guy isn't a guy. This guy is a girl. This is an actress, folks, who I believe is Canadian. Yeah. It's a trans actress. Her name is Ellen Page. And you know what she has to say about you? That you are a vile loser because you can't accept yourself for who you are. That's right. Ellen Page, who is now pretending to be a boy, says critics of transgenderism are vile losers who can't accept themselves. So follow the fucking logic here, folks, and wonder, right? This is total Democrat thinking, total socialist thinking, total anti-European, anti-Anglo common law thinking, right? Follow the logic. A low-level actress from Canada seeks fame by acting and playing characters that are not her. That's what actors and actresses do. They play other people. But then she evolved, right? She evolved upwards, right? She's so brilliant. The girl rejects her own identity. She rejects her own gender. Then she surgically removes her body parts. I believe she's 5'1". And in a fit of retarded despair, this actress claims people who criticize self-hating and destructive mentally ill retards as vile losers. That's what she calls us after everything she's done to herself. Unbelievable, right? Who rejected herself? Who rejected her own identity? Who rejected her own gender? Who self-mutilated? And then who got upset that whose actions were criticized? This fucking moron. This is the same person, a female liberal dipshit who will pass any law to tell you what to do and make you obey. She would have people go to prison for not accepting pronouns and using them. She would have you go to prison for not wearing a mask. She'll have you go to prison for preaching Christianity. She'll have you go to prison for speaking your mind, exercising a right, breathing air, traveling. She will have you go to prison, a concentration camp, a re-education camp, a fucking torture camp. If you reject people from third world countries coming here and raping your daughters, raping your wives, unfucking believable. Yeah, shit has hit the fan, folks, when we're listening to stories like this shit. This fucking person. If you saw a 5'1" man, and I've met them, folks. I've met men under 5 feet, full-grown men. I've met midgets, I've met dwarves, I've met short people, right? So someone this size, 5 foot, 5'1", you're going to stand up and criticize me? I'm fucking 6'6", 275 pounds. I fucking built houses. I have fucking dug trenches. I have shoveled fucking gravel, rock. I have fucking dug fucking fighting hole, manhole, foxholes, whatever you want to call them, fucking pits. Right? I've marched fucking miles. I've drugged people up fucking mountains through the mud, been shot, run over, dragged, fucking stabbed. Fucking people have poisoned me. And this motherfucker right here is going to tell me I'm not doing it right? Just unfucking believable. Literally unbelievable. Wants to criticize you, saying you're a vile loser because you're nothing like this piece of shit. But how could you be? How could you be a man unless you are one of the very few that are just literally that short genetically? 110-pound, probably soaking fucking wet piece of shit is going to call you a vile loser. If you're a woman, be proud to be a woman. Be a good fucking woman, whatever that woman role is, because women play all kinds of roles just like men do as well. Very few people can, and I hope they don't have to deal with the shit I've dealt with, but very few people do, and I don't do what women do, and I don't do what other men do, right? We only do what we do. We accept who we are, and we follow that fucking role, and we live it. Not all of us get to be millionaires or billionaires. Most of us just get to be poor their whole lives. It's fine. That's the way it is. But this fucking piece of shit doesn't like any of it, has a chance to be a fucking actress, popular, rich, everything else, instead decides to destroy herself and then attack us for it. Vile loser. Good God. It's a fucking poster child for vile fucking loser. But for us, this is exactly why we need to be prepared, because this is the type of shit. They say that us criticizing them results in their damage and loss. No, they do it to themselves. They call us vile losers, call us Nazis, white supremacists, and then say we should fucking die. And they tell that to their mentally ill friends, who then go out and commit crimes. Now, look, I've been here since December of 2013, and a few of you have been here as long as that. A few of you have been here as long as that. And guess what? We haven't committed any fucking crimes. We're not out there shooting and killing and stabbing and murdering our fucking parents and coworkers and Christians and schools. But these fucking freaks do. Those fucking freaks, they do. Disgusting fucking freaks, all of them. Anyways, folks, look. Thank you for supporting the channel. I want everyone to know that super chat donations, whether you do it up here or through Venmo, CashApp, and PayPal, what those do is those keep the lights on. Of course, tuna fish, spam, you guys help keep me prepared. I buy products, I test them. It also pays the bills, and we have a lot of bills, just like you. We got server bills, internet access bills, programming. We use a program called a StreamYard, and it's connected to a bunch of other social media for producing videos on the fly. You know, we could put videos on the screen. I just do pictures right now, but I may step it up and start putting videos with sound on here. It all costs money and time. Anyways, we pay for subscriptions, dedicated servers. We have the preparedmind.club, which in itself costs a shit ton of money. You guys support it all, so thank you. And here's how that support comes in. It comes in like this from Big Dan the Man. He says, what if Carmelo, meaning Carmelo Anthony, the young black piece of shit ghetto slime hoodster, whose parents were actually not doing too bad, who then got nearly $1 million and decided instead of buying and paying for a good attorney, they decided to buy a nice house and some fancy cars in a protected community while their son is left to fend for him fucking self. It's like the parents know he's guilty and a piece of shit, so they're going to let him go to prison, and they're going to live high on the hog. Anyways, Carmelo Anthony stabbed Austin Metcalf in the heart with either a file or a pair of scissors or something like that at a track meet at a school because he wanted to not leave a tent that belonged to someone else after being asked to leave repeatedly. Carmelo Anthony, that guy was found guilty by a jury, and he gets to go to prison. So Big Dan the Man, great supporter of the Prepared Mind channel, says, I wonder if Carmelo had to bend over and pick up a dropped soap bar in the prison shower yet. I'm going to guess yes. Now, about the only way little whiny, droopy-faced Carmelo is not going to get his ass reamed on a daily basis by whatever Bubba wants a piece of him is if he is heralded in prison. Heralded in prison as being awesome for stabbing an innocent white high school athlete in the fucking heart for no reason. Now, there very well may be a club or gang of scumbags who are going to give him street cred for that and try and protect him. But I've never been a prison guard. I've never been to prison or county jail or city jail, none of that. But I happen to know a lot of prison guards my whole life, from youth authority to state prison to federal prison. I've known a lot of them. And the way things work is you can be segregated out a number of different ways, either by the prison guards themselves or by the prisoners themselves. And Carmelo, if they want to have him hurt or make him someone's bitch, it'll happen. It will happen. He could even be sold out by his own gang. They could decide he's a whiny, sniveling little bitch and they don't like him anymore and turn him loose, turn him out for everyone else to enjoy. Scary world, folks. And it's a sad fucking state. Bad enough you go to prison, you get to become someone's, cellmate, literally. Carmelo Anthony is going to have to, he's going to have to pay whatever price fate has for him. I don't have to wish anything on him, folks. I've wished for justice, and justice says that someone that does that gets to go to jail and quite possibly face the death penalty. I don't have to wish bad on him. I don't need the negative karma. But Carmelo Anthony's going to get something, and he ain't going to like it. You know, like I've said about many people, both that are, shall we say, criminal, someone like Hillary Clinton, or someone who has been very negative toward me and done everything they can to kill me or destroy me. I want them to live a good long time. You see, I want Hillary Clinton to live to be 200 years old. I'd love for her to spend that 200 years and what's left of it anyways, out of however fucking old she is, 80, in prison. I'd love for her to be in prison until she's dead, but I want her to live a good long time with herself, knowing that she's in a prison. And see, they're already in prison, folks, believe it or not. They know what they've done is wrong, and they've got to live with it. They have to live with the guilt and the understanding of it, knowing how evil and shitty they are. And then the older they get, the fewer people will like them or love them or remember them or want to have anything to do with them. That's why I want them to live a good long time with themselves, knowing what a piece of shit they are. Now, I guess maybe if you're Carmelo Anthony and you got the IQ of a popsicle stick, you may be too fucking stupid to know what you did wrong. Or maybe you could be a Hillary Clinton and think everything you did is just fine and you didn't do anything wrong because you're special. You were promised it because you're chosen. Whatever. Anyways, I wonder too, Big Dan, I wonder too exactly how loved Carmelo has been. All right, let's keep moving if we shall. We got more super chats in here, and it's your show, folks. Super chat button right up there. Share the internet address. Thumbs up. You've got to be a subscriber to do comments on the YouTube channels, and I strongly recommend that you go to the Prepared Mind. It has 5,170 subscribers. That's the YouTube I would prefer you be subscribed to. But be subscribed to both of them because one could get removed at any time as usual. Share the internet address. Tell people, get on here. We've got a lot to talk about. And folks, we haven't even begun to scratch the surface. We really haven't. There is so much going on right now. But first, we're going to stop and see Heidi. And Heidi, thank you for the great support. She's done a $10 super sticker. No questions has been asked, but I'm going to call that a chef's choice type thing. A chef's choice. Thank you, Heidi, for the great support. And stay cool. And I mean that in both a psychological and a literal sense. Apparently, the weather all over the country is, all over the place. Down here in Florida, it's been raining all weekend. Little sunshine, a lot of rain, a lot of thunder. Up north, it's hot as fuck. Other places, it's flooding. A lot of extreme weather. But I think that there's always been extreme weather. Now, some people argue it's been worse. And I do agree that, there is a lot of weather control out there. Whether it's influenced or modified, caused to rain and snow even more, or whether it's absolutely created weather using whatever technology they use. Crazy world we live in. But, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 1980s, if something happened, the only way you heard about it is if it made it to the radio or made it to local news or national news. Otherwise, floods, droughts, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, unless they were really, really, really huge, we never heard about it. Now we hear about every fucking thing. Yes, we do. We hear about everything. So Viking checks in. It's good to hear from you, Big Viking. And he does a $20 super chat donation. And he says, hey, Anne Whitcomb, a 78-year-old conservative. She was a voice of England, folks. She wasn't just killed in her home. She was fucking bludgeoned to death. Bludgeoned to death. Now, I saw a picture of Anne Whitcomb. She is the quintessential looking English woman in her 80s. But she is extremely conservative. Who runs the country in England? Who? Well, you've got Sadiq Khan, right? Pakistani, Hindu, Indian, piece of shit, anti-European, anti-English, anti-UK, anti-white, anti-law and order, sack of shit, who has guilted England into electing him as mayor of London, and he continues to be mayor of London and won't go away. He really is crap. And all of the non-English that have moved into elected positions, from, ministers of parliament to the mayor and other diversity, equity, and inclusion posts all over England. You wouldn't know England had any white people in it, hardly. And it's just going to get worse, folks. And then we have Anne Whitcomb. And hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Tragically killed, 78-year-old. We'll just call her 80-year-old. Right? She is old school. She is a white woman in England who likes tea and scones and being English. She didn't die of old age. She didn't die enjoying her garden. She died being bludgeoned to death after being attacked in her own home. You, me, us, everyone. England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, America, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, Japan. It doesn't matter. Anywhere, folks, that is Western culture, and I include Japan because it has become very westernized, not to remove their traditions, but in their behavior towards business and approaching systematically a civilized, modern, industrialized nation. But they're still extremely Japanese, but still, they'll be fucking killed, all of us, if we don't put an end to this shit. From flock cameras to corrupt politicians to being invaded by fucking terrorists to having our politicians owned, bought, paid for, controlled, bribed, and extorted by foreign interests and foreign corporations, not to mention domestic and foreign banking corporations. It is my opinion that Anne Whitcomb was murdered for the very purpose of terrorizing anybody and everybody into not running for government. That this was a political hit, and it was a very strong message sent to white people, white British people. You will not continue to be conservative and ask for your tea and scones, your crumpets and curds and whey. No fucking, you don't get anything. You don't. Where's Steve Conlon in England? Where's Bob Hunter in Scotland? Where's Vincent Boyle in Belfast, Ireland? Where are the people, right? Are you guys in the comment section? I sure hope you are. Can't enjoy a spot of tea. What's the world coming to? Thank you, Robin, for that. Yeah. Now, it's not going to get better. I mean, it can get better, but it's not going to get better. Not for a while, folks. Not for a while. Thank you, Viking, for the great super chat support. It is much, much, much appreciated, sir. We have a similar problem here in the United States of America. Yes, we do. We have a similar problem with politics. First, I want to start by talking about James Carville. Do you guys know who James Carville is? He's a very unattractive old guy. He hasn't always been this old, but he's always looked like this. And his nickname was Serpent Head because he looked like a fucking snake. He's always been bald and kind of goofy, weird looking. Anyway, Serpent Head. He is having a meltdown. Serpent Head is having a meltdown over the Democrat Socialists of America. Their invasion, well, they're taking over the Democrat Party. See, the Democrat Party is being taken over by the Democrat Socialists of America. They're straight up fucking communists. Retarded communists at that. And this is what Serpent Head is. And Serpent Head is responsible for a lot of the damage that's been done to this country. Serpent Head and people like him inside the Democrat Party. He says, quote, "These people are so fucking stupid." Yeah, they are. They're communists and they're fucking stupid and dangerous. Now, interesting note, Serpent Head was the mastermind behind taking covert Democrat anti-American policy behind the scenes to visibly acting like socialists in America. Now, not social fascists. Big difference. He wants his rich people and his powerful people to stay rich and powerful, but he wants government to be all-encompassing, all-powerful. And he brought the Democrat Party from, let's pretend like we're American, to becoming socialist through the Clintons. But now he's upset. The party is full-on, open, unapologetically, and retardedly communist. Wake up, world. We need to wake up. Either we fight for freedom or we submit to a dozen failed different political systems. And every one of them, folks, apart from freedom, will rob, rape, and murder us. You pick freedom and stand like men, or you choose anything else and you get on your knees and you submit until they cut your fucking head off. It's a general question. Things are getting bad. It's not time. But when the time comes, will you fight back? How bad does it have to get? What will it take before you decide to fight back? You know, this fucking guy. If this guy came and knocked on your door and said, get on your knees and worship the state, the government, would you? Of course not. But what if you someone knocked on the door and it was a dozen policemen with guns pointed at you, telling you to come out of your house, lay on the ground. They're going to carry you off to jail, and they're going to take your house, your money, your car, all your belongings, everything. That's what communism does, folks. That's what communism does. And they're in our country. The Democrat Socialists of America are in our country. Period. That's it. That is what we've got. That is what we've got. Are you prepared for it? right? Talking about fucking the country over. That's the political side. How about this one? How about this piece of shit right here? Oh, there he is himself. It is Mamdani, the socialist, communist, Muslim pile of shit. New Yorkers are angry at him. You want proof of a hostile takeover within our country like Sadiq Khan has done in London? Okay, then. Mamdani has completely omitted Italian neighborhoods from his New York City immigrant map. The Italians. He's trying to erase, folks, anyone who's good. All the white people, all the black people, all the European people, all the Asians that built this country literally for 400 years. We've all had our parts, big and small. But this piece of shit, this Muslim, Talmudist, Mohammedan piece of shit, and yeah, I believe he's both, folks. I believe he is a closet bitch for Israel. That's my opinion, because I've seen enough pictures of him talking to the, most interesting groups of people. Now, he literally is pissed off New Yorkers. Oh, and another thing about Mamdani is he may get arrested. He has completely violated the Logan Act, and his office, the mayor's office of New York City, tried contacting Iran to work out some kind of a deal while we're engaged in a military conflict with them, even though it's not declared war. Mamdani has done that. They're saying he needs to be arrested, investigated, kicked out of office, found guilty, and deported because he's not an American citizen by birth. No, he's an imported piece of shit. But now he's claiming, I don't know who did that from our office. It wasn't me, right? I didn't do nothing, says Mamdani. Wasn't me. I didn't do nothing. It was someone else. I don't know who contacted Iran. Right? So a Muslim mayor, an arrogant megalomaniac with God complex fucking asshole from out of this country, Muslim, wants to contact Iran and cut a deal with them. But we're supposed to believe it was someone else in his office. Yeah, of course. He didn't do nothing. But at the same time, he's doing everything he can to ruin New York City. Absolutely fucking ruin New York City. And okay, so now I've covered, let's see, political idiocy and the Democrat, Socialist, Communist, and Serpent Head. I've talked about Mamdani, who represents the foreign retard division of this country that wants to ruin us. I've talked about the trans fruitcakes who are going to do everything they can to kill, slaughter, murder, and destroy everything they can. And I got one more for you, right? This is the stealth bullshit. Okay? This is why you should be prepping. This is why you need food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. This is why you need a plan and radio communications gear and solar power generator backup, because they could bring this country down quick. One more piece of the puzzle. A Democrat named James Tallarico, who claims to be a Christian. How can you be a Christian and a Democrat? How can you support bringing in illegals who are going to rape women and children? How can you support what is going on in Gaza and going on around the world, this senseless fucking killing? Well, this asshole Tallarico says Islam and other religions are all equal paths to truth. Did you know that, folks? Did you know that a Christian believes that other religions are equal paths to truth? Other religions, like what is taught in India, the Hindi religion, the Sikh religion, the Islam, Mohammedanism, and Talmudism, Zionism, teach their people to lie, fool, fraud, cheat, steal, and allow them to rape and murder people of other religions and cultures. Did you know that? So how can they all be equal paths to the truth? The truth symbolizing goodness. Right? Anyone who's not in those other religions, they can do that too. They can steal your money, commit fraud, lie, cheat, steal, rape, murder. They don't care. These are them right here. Here's a great example of what they do. They want to sacrifice their nations and their children to other gods, whether it's Marduk or Baal, Moloch, Melech, Allah, it doesn't matter. They're here to sacrifice and kill everyone else for their own power, right? Equal paths to truth. Go ahead, trust them. Trust the perverted Satanists to tell you how Christianity isn't special and unique, in that they're all equal paths. Are they? Does Islam have a golden rule that says treat others as you would have them treat you? Does Zionism say do unto others as you would have them do unto you, as they commit genocide and kill everyone? Now, I'm not saying Christianity hasn't had its dark episodes, because it has. I think all religions have. But where are we at today? Today is the day we have to deal with shit. Now, if Islam was stupid and murderous back in 800 AD, and then they became good, which they actually became very much into science and poetry and travel, and from about 800 to 1000 AD. I don't do this common era and before common era, BCE, by the way. Fuck that. I don't have to rewrite the way we do things because people don't want to hear Christ. Before Christ, BC and AD, Anno Domini. No, too fucking bad. AD and BC. That's how I fucking roll. Anyways, for a little while, Islam, when it moved into Persia, you had people like Oman. The fuck was his name? I just had it in my head and it popped in and out. Oyam Kamir. Omar Khayyam. Thank you. Holy cow. Omar Khayyam, mathematician. Anyways, but then after 100 years or so, they started reverting back to their stupid, let's fucking kill everyone. Everything is haram. Everything is bad. Kill everyone. How about Zionism, a.k.a. Talmudism? They do what they've done and gotten kicked out of 1,000 countries. 109 countries over 1,000 times. An average of 10 times per country, they've been kicked out of them. Right? How about the Hindis? Well, the Indians, they get kicked out of any country they invade. No one likes them. Right? They're all shit, absolute crap, because they are immoral and rude and destructive, and they've been that way for hundreds and hundreds of years. Like I said, I'll admit Christianity's had its dark times, from the Inquisitions, which are based on routing out evil, by the way. They just took it too far sometimes. And then, of course, same with Protestantism. They wanted to get rid of, evil, bad people, and then they ended up with their overly aggressive witch trials, etc. So, yeah, every religion has had its faults, so I don't need religion in charge of government. I'll admit it. We're a Christian nation, a Christian culture full of Christian traditions, but I don't want anyone who says they're a Christian running the country based on their version of it, right? But it is basically a Christian culture, tradition, and set of laws. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Truth, justice, the American way, yada, yada, yada. Here we are. But they're trying to take over. And they want to bring in other religions and other ideas and say, they're all the same. There's no problem. Yeah, just bring your kids down here and, we'll give them to Jeffrey Epstein and all the rich people, and they can sacrifice them. And yeah, they're fucking sick people, folks. We're 90 minutes into the show. What do you guys want to talk about? Am I way off here on, religion and culture and history and law? Am I way off on who are the bad guys and what's going on? Is this where we're at? What do you guys want to talk about? We've got a lot of great people here. I'm just slimming through the names here. Chelsea Rering and husband is in the house. Doug Bauer's in the house. Robin's in the house. Hillbilly's here. Patty Hamilton, Privateer. Holy cow, Snakehead. Thank you, Lauren, for this serpent head. Yeah. Did the Russians poison Lindsey Graham? Well, whatever happened has happened. Anyways, Yankees here. Iron Mike. We've got a lot of great people. C is here. Northern Hillbilly has this to say, and this is just interesting. Just gonna put it up here. Now I understand burning at the stake or poisoning of the wells. It's funny when you get a little bit of truth, a little bit of facts, a little bit of history, you start realizing why people got kicked out of countries and what they were doing and why burning at the stake was there and what poisoning wells is all about. Well, I got to tell you, I just mentioned Chelsea and husband, of course. She did a $50 super chat donation, and that means I get a scotch. Not only does she get to put a question in, but she and husband get to, I get the scotch. They get the credit for the scotch. And Chef's Choice says, Chelsea, thank you very much. Chef's Choice on the topic. And boy, did I pour that one tall, Chelsea. Thank you. Good to see you and everyone else here. Polonium probiotic. Yeah, it's a probiotic, all right. Semper Fi to one and all. God bless America. Truth, justice, the American way, from sea to shining sea. And may the wings of liberty never lose a feather. Very good. Mother's milk. Thank you, Chelsea. Let's get into this. Band again is having a tea break. Have a scone with that. We got a lot more to go. We've got, just under 30 minutes before the end of the show. If you got something to say, kapow, super chat buttons up there. Let's see what we want to talk about. Folks, I haven't talked at all about what's going on over in, Iran. Big news, huge news. Hormuz, Strait of Hormuz is shut again, shut. It's absolutely closed down. Absolutely closed down. The United States of America is attacking Iran. Iran is attacking the rest of the Middle East. Or crumpets. The news is saying that the United States has launched strikes all over Iran. Dozens of targets have been hit. The U.S. is sending in a crippling pounding against the Iranian regime. And as a consequence, Iran is closing the Strait of Hormuz and is attacking shipping. You can only go through there if you have, they say they've closed it, but I'm guessing maybe if you pay them their fee, they're going to let you through, right? So the U.S. bombs Iran, and Iran responds by bombing U.S. military bases and installations. They bomb unauthorized ships that are making a move. They're bombing the ever-loving shit. Literally, ever-loving shit is getting bombed out of Tel Aviv. And the Strait of Hormuz is going to be closed because Trump says, we don't care. Right? If you want to have peace talks, we're going to have it while bombing each other. And my thought is there's not much peace, but you know what? There never has been peace. It's always been, let's call for a ceasefire, then do sneak attacks. And it's really rather disgusting. You know, if you're gonna call for peace, you call for peace. But every time that they've said, look, we're going to do a ceasefire and have some peace, and then the United States makes a deal with Iran, Iran makes a deal with the United States, and then Israel fucking fucks it up. Right? But there's one problem here. Now, Viking says the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, needs to be wiped off the face of the earth. There's a number of countries and regimes and belief systems that need to be wiped off the face of the earth. I agree. Iran's government, right? The Iranian people, the Persians, I love them. The Iranian government, they're not fucking morons, though. You see, that's the difference between the Iranians and other idiot, inbred, stupid fucking Muslims around the world, right? And I don't say that just to be insulting to them. The other dumbass, inbred, stupid, low IQ, camel humping goat fuckers, okay? I don't like them because of who they are and what they've done. But the Iranians are not the same people. Iran is not Iraq. Iran is not Afghanistan. Iran is not a weak nation. Iran holds an extremely powerful position geographically, meaning its country is surrounded by mountains, very protective. It is a very large country, bigger than the state of Texas, huge, right? It holds a powerful position next to the Strait of Hormuz, which is a bottleneck. It is geographically very close to Iran, so it does not meet the requirements of having international passage by it because it is just too freaking tight, too small. The Strait of Hormuz is literally right. You know, I don't care what kind of Muslim they are. The brains inside the heads of the Iranian people, whether they're Muslim or not, are not the same. So yes, Iran are Aryans. Oh shit, that's a whole can of worms there, man. Didn't want to get into that. Okay, Iran holds a powerful position and they can't be bullied. The United States has bombed them. Israel has bombed them. They've attacked them. They've sneak attacked them. They've bombed schools. They've killed children. They've gone after civilians. They've hit their fucking infrastructure. They've tried damaging them. And, well, they're not done. They're not going to give up. They're not going to quit. And Iran is shown week after week, month after month, they care, they want peace, but they're not, and they're continuing to not do exactly what's being done to them. Like it or not, Iran is playing this very intelligently. They're not Afghanistan. They're not Iraq. They're not Somalia. They're not Oman. They're not some third world shithole that can get knocked over like Libya. Consequently, oh, I can't help this. I got to bring it up. Soft Kitty writes, why are we fighting over these lands on this side of the ice wall when there are a whole lot more land on the other side of the ice wall? Well, I'll tell you, Soft Kitty. Because they can't get through the firmament. There just happens to be a couple of angels there with a flaming sword guarding the gates. All right. Anyways, we'll leave that one there. Mikey G says they have oil and rare earth minerals in Iran. Now see, they started the Ukraine war and then said, we're going to sanction you, Russia. That'll teach you. We're going to kill your country with sanctions. And they cut Russia off. Russia's still there. Russia is stronger today. The Russian ruble, their currency, is not getting devalued. It's stronger than it ever was. The Russians are not being damaged. Oh, shit. Well, here we go. I knew that was a can of worms. Doug Bauer says, Lost Book of Enki, the Enuma Elish, right? The Epics of Gilgamesh. Yeah, you're good, Soft Kitty. I mean, the Nazis tried going under the ice wall. Well, good golly, I'm getting messaged to death here, and including my son and everyone else. Okay, yeah, but definitely, folks, Antarctica, mystery, a lot of crazy shit. But while we're stuck here on this particular plane, yeah. They want to control everything, which is why they're going after Iran. They tried punishing Russia. Well, the Soviet Union fell in the early 1990s. Russia was in dire straits. They managed to survive, and now they're being punished again, but they're doing better. Iran, hell, Russia fell in the 1990s. Iran got absolutely sanctioned by the world in the early 1980s because of their Iranian revolution and bringing in the Ayatollah Khomeini, right? That clown. You know, they've been fighting America through proxy terror groups for decades, and they've tried destroying them financially and socially and economically with sanctions, and Iran has survived this entire time for the last 46 fucking years. 46 years. Not just a generation, but a human lifetime. A human lifetime, and Iran hasn't gone away. When they say death to America, they mean death to the political system. They don't mean death to all of us. Redneck Roughneck, yeah, my son probably is watching, but, you know, he's doing what he does, and he just likes to call. But I don't want to put him on the air. I don't want his voice on the air. Anyways, Lucas is he's a good man, and he's raising a family, my son. And at some point I'm going to expire or get killed or have a fucking heart attack, who knows, and hopefully he takes over. They tried killing Russia. They've tried killing Iran. Neither of them have fallen. Yes, they restructured. Yes, they rebuilt. They had to build an economy. They had to become self-sufficient. But, you know, one of the people, by the way, super chat button right up there if you want to get on the board. If you've got a thought or an idea you want to share. One of the people that has been most pro-war and blow everything up, as well as pro-Israel, has been good old, former Senator Lindsey Graham. I say former because he's now dead. But Trump, he's paying tribute to Senator Lindsey. And here's the quote. Quote, he's one of the greatest people I have ever known, end quote. Really? Really? Lindsey Graham, a fruitcake homosexual who is called for war at every turn, promising if he gets a chance to use your daughters, your sons, your grandchildren as political pawns on a fucking battlefield to be killed every chance he gets. And that makes him one of the greatest people he's ever known, says Trump. He disavowed America literally in support of Israel. And he's one of the greatest people Trump has ever known. He demanded that we bomb everyone, literally, that Israel wanted to be bombed and wanted off the planet. And he's one of the greatest people I've ever known, says Trump. It's shit like this that makes me look at President Trump and say, what the fuck are you thinking? It isn't Republican. It isn't Democrat. It's what the fuck are you thinking? The same way your son or another family member fucks up and you're like, I love you, man, but what the fuck are you thinking? Why would you do that? Why would you say that? Why would you think that? What makes you make that fucking decision? Now, a person could argue Trump is being magnanimous and polite and kind. The same way 30 years ago, right? 30 years ago, politicians, when a Democrat would pass away, Republicans would say kind things. And if a Republican passed away, Democrats would say kind things. You know, they don't really give a fuck. My friends across the aisle, no one's friends anymore. Why should you be? Right? Why? It is incredibly fucking retarded what's going on. But let's pay tribute to Senator Lindsey Graham. He was a complete and total anti-Christian, homosexual freak who wanted war at every turn and disavowed our country. This is where we're at in America, folks. This is where we're at. Literally. Yeah, literally, folks. Literally. Let me see if I've missed anything at all. Oh, good golly, folks. I forgot to tell everybody that Senator Mitch McConnell has he's just finished working on a deal with President Xi Jinping of China. Senator Mitch McConnell left the hospital, flew over to China with Marco Rubio and Trump, and finished the deal so we could remove all tariffs with China. And China is now going to be subservient to the Trump administration. Thank you, Senator McConnell. Isn't that amazing, folks? I know this is an AI joke of a picture, and what I just said is all bullshit. But they want to do stupid shit and then claim that they're all American. That they're doing everything they can to help America, that they're the good guys. I don't believe any of it. I literally don't believe any of the shit that's going on. How about this one here? U.S. Central Command releases footage from latest strikes against approximately 140 Iranian military targets. Oh, it's not just 20 or 30 or a couple of dozen. 140 targets. Yeah, that's the headline, folks. Well, so Iran releases pictures of its damaging hits in Tel Aviv. Are all sides being smashed? Or are all sides lying and claiming victory? About the only positive thing about all of this destruction is that currently the people of the United States of America are not being bombed or left in the dark with no electricity and no banking systems. But we are having our air poisoned. We are having our food poisoned. We're having our water poisoned. I don't know if you guys had caught, but one of Zark Zuckerberg's AI data centers is poisoning the groundwater, and people are getting sick from it. Toxic sludge and metals and shit somehow are leaving these AI data centers and getting down into the well water. You know, the only way for that to happen, folks, is if you have a pipe and you're literally pushing your wastewater into the fucking ground. Now, as a developer in the past, real estate developer, there was a time when I was a successful general contractor developing real estate, and you drill wells and you build your own septic systems that work for the houses and everything. The only way to get water from the surface that's contaminated into the aquifer system is to drill a hole and pump it down there. Now, it's being done all over California and has been done for decades. Taking fresh water and literally pumping it down into the aqueducts, the aquifers, because they're drying up. So they're trying to replenish them. Well, I mean, I guess that's fine, except for water to get into the aquifer system. It has to percolate through all the sands and rocks and gravels, and that filters it. But when you pump directly down, yeah, you're pumping everything. And so, yeah, now people are getting sick. We're not getting bombed. We're not getting strafed. Our electricity is going. We haven't run out of fuel quite yet. Quite yet. But the people were getting poisoned. Your food, they want to put mRNA vaccines, the same vaccines that will have killed millions, tens of millions around the world. Tens and tens and tens of millions are getting cancer and other diseases. Hundreds of millions of people around the world are suffering from injuries from the Jim Jones juice. And they want to put that same shit in food. They want to put that same shit in food, our food, and force us to eat it. Bugs, sludge, genetically altered plants, vegetables, fruits, cover them in chemicals, and they're fucking poisoning us left and right. Do you think Mark Zuckerberg will drink water that hasn't been run through 10 reverse osmosis systems and then distilled another dozen times just to make sure? He's one of these fuckers that they'll go up and chisel off an iceberg that's been frozen for 50,000 years and put it in a freezer and take it back to his house and drip water off of it so he can drink that, because he's too good to drink what we drink or eat or anything else. You know, I've got less than 10 minutes left. And there's something I want to talk about. It kind of has something to do with Soft Kitty's comment about going past the ice wall. And the concept is one that I brought up the other day with a friend of mine. It's called the breakaway civilization. Breakaway civilization. I'm going to do a little conspiracy theory stuff with you guys. There's archaeological evidence around the world. Well, before we do that, before I get into it, everyone get ready. We're going to go down a fucking rabbit hole. But first, Big Dan the Man did a $10 super chat talking about Jimi Hendrix. And he says he was murdered in England by a roofie before bedtime at 27 years old. Folks, a lot of musicians have died at 27 years old. Was it Kurt Cobain? How about, was it Annie Weingarten or Wine something or another? The bitch whose name was Wine. Right, a lot of musicians died at 27. I think Stevie Ray Vaughan was 27 when he died in a helicopter crash. Anyways, Stevie Ray Vaughan believed that Jimi Hendrix was murdered. Anyways, Jimi Hendrix is murdered. He was too good of a musician for the times. The English music industry was in shock. Jimmy was the Van Halen of the day. And there's something about celebrities that do what they want and say what they want. They become too powerful. They become too influential, influencers. And so the influencer has to be bought and controlled. It's done with money, sex, and drugs, or they end up getting killed if they cannot be bought and controlled and quieted. Like Charlie Kirk. Thank you, Big Dan, for bringing up Jimi Hendrix and giving me that segue to bring in the idea that anyone who is operating on their own is very influential, very intelligent or talented, and people listen and are interested in what they're doing. They can't have that. They must control everybody. Now, let's go back. Let's get back into breakaway civilizations, ancient civilizations, and what do the rich people do? So there's evidence on this planet, folks, of an ancient nuclear war. Ancient nuclear war. They found cities where people and animal died on the spot, fell over, but instead of their bones being picked clean and drug off by carrion, meaning birds, like vultures and eagles, and also carnivorous other animals, hyenas and coyotes and wild dogs and the like, that will tear apart the carcasses, tigers, etc. There's a city that was absolutely buried by the dirt of time, dust landing and piling up and burying an entire city. I think it might have been called Dendera, this one particular one I'm noting. And the animals were all intact, meaning anything in the area, if it came in it after this nuclear attack, would get sick. It's radioactive. Eating the meat would make you sick and you'd vomit and die. So these animals left all these humans and animals alone, and they got buried. There's one example. Another one would be Pumapunku. How about the civilization up in Lake Titicaca? Up there. Who builds a fucking city at 14,000 foot in elevation? Who does that and why? And then it just disappears? And the technology needed to cut these stones, it cannot literally be matched today. But it looks like there was great waterworks and irrigation systems and purposes. And was it mining in some of the most remote parts of the world? It could not be sustained without technology that's much higher. You know that there's Roman ships that have been found in South America? Yeah. That the Egyptians, there's been evidence found in North America of the Egyptians being over here. Thor Heyerdahl wanted to prove that you could do that, and he sailed literally a raft made of reeds from Europe, North Africa, all the way to the South Pacific. Now, I don't know if Thor Heyerdahl and his Kon-Tiki raft went through the Panama Canal, which would seem rather odd, and I don't know if they would have allowed that, or if he sailed south and went around, Tierra del Fuego. Yeah, there's a lot of civilizations that existed, high civilization. Like, how the fuck did they build the pyramids? There's evidence of civilizations in Antarctica, which they're continuing to hide, yet whistleblowers are continuing to leak and say it's down there. There are giants. Who are these giants? Who are these beings that were 7, 8, 9, 10 foot with big conical skulls that were the kings of South America and Central America? And who are the red-haired copper giants of North America, whose bones were found from East Coast to West Coast? Why is it that every civilization on the entire planet has a flood myth? A flood myth. Right? The world being covered in water to destroy rotten humanity. What is Tartaria? Why was it here? Why are there buildings in America? Enormous, huge structures sitting out in a plain all by themselves. And they're just discovered. People, when they were exploring the country, just found a giant fucking building. And so they built cities up around these buildings. And a lot of these buildings that they found all over the planet, they're 2 or 3 stories of the building are underground, covered in mud. What about these underground cities, period? Right? These catacombs with the bones of millions of people in them. When these cities and these bones were put in there, they didn't have millions of people at all. There were only thousands of people living in Rome, Paris, London, right? Barcelona, any of these great cities that have catacombs. What the fuck is going on? Well, one of the belief systems, or one of the theories is that every time a civilization, a human civilization, in fact, Richard L. Thompson, Michael Cremo, right? These are doctors, anthropologists. Robert Seffer is another one who's a doctor. These are some very highly intelligent, highly educated people who say there's been human civilization literally for millions of years. Millions. We didn't crawl out from under a fucking rock, evolve from a monkey south of the Sahara Desert. And then we just happened to stand upright and invent a couple of stone tools. And next thing you know, we got fucking airplanes, right? No, there's been humans all along. There's artifacts found in Central and South America that are fucking, they look like miniature airplanes made out of gold, no less. Little models. And they take those models, recreate them with lighter materials, put an engine on them, and they are aeronautically sufficient. They fly. They're good aeronautics. Okay, enough. The technology, right? The pictures, the description of gods flying in aircraft, spaceships from China to ancient Mesopotamia, to the Indus Valley, to the Egyptians, to even the Hebrews who adopted these older civilizations, right? The Israelites adopted their cosmology from other civilizations. It was stolen by Moses, in other words, to give them a beginning and a history. Okay, so yeah, there's other civilizations that had flying stuff. The Hindus, ancient Hindus, from thousands and thousands of years ago, had vimanas, flying craft that would fly around and engage in war with other flying vehicles of the gods. Who are these gods? Are they really gods? Or are they just the people in charge, the elites, who had all the technology? They controlled technology, they controlled the power, they controlled wealth, they controlled food, everything. But then they're just poof, gone. Where'd they go? Why did we revert back to near caveman living existence? And there have been times in human history that scientists will look to and go, There was only a few thousand humans left, here and there, just enough to keep the population going and then start again. So this concept of the breakaway civilization is a group of people, centralizes and controls all wealth, power, technology for themselves, keeping the regular people as low as they can, as unintelligent as they can, as uneducated, a working slave class. And then ultimately they're like, we're going to leave this place. Whether you think they're going to leave and go to Mars or Venus, or travel at light speed to the Andromeda galaxy, or the Seven Sisters, or to name your fucking star system, right? Or do they fly past the ice wall, through a breach in the firmament, and across the flat-planed universe to another orbiting sun, right? To live in peace and harmony with their technology and leave the rest of us here to fucking die, right? And on their way out the door, they nuke the fuck out of everyone. They poison the food, the air, and everything, and just destroy everything so no one can follow them, so they can't be held accountable, right? They get caught. We all know they're evil fuckers. We go to rebel against them. They shit on us, destroy us, and they use their technology to leave. That is a one very small out of dozens of versions of the breakaway civilization. If we were that smart and we got there before, what happened? Why did it go? It's always the people in charge think they're gods, think they're elites, think they're chosen, take advantage of everyone, fuck us over, steal all the wealth, develop the technology, and then destroy us on their way out the fucking door. Oh, there's a lot to this world, folks. I love, by the way, I absolutely love conspiracy theories and alternative history and geology, anthropology, sociology, everything. Because I believe that if they'll lie to us about anything, they'll lie to us about everything. If they want a little bit of control, they're lying. They want all the control. And to end this show, this Sunday Night Live of July 12th, 2026, we go to Blue Cord Devil, who's done a $50 super chat donation. So we're going to end with a toast, my friends. And thank you, Blue Cord Devil. Almost out on this bottle. I may have to just replace it. 18-year single malt scotch by Glenfiddich. Blue Cord Devil, here's to you. And he says, peace and prayers, John, Jolene, Uman, and everyone else. Watch your six. Watch your back. Stay calm. Stay armed. Getting ready for canning season. That's right. Through the summer and into the fall, we'll have harvest. Canning up some cowboy candy tomorrow. Very nice. Hope everyone is doing as much food prep as they can on their own. Gardens. Get good quality food, folks. Understand and learn and be prepared and have the equipment to purify and clean your water and protect yourselves all, one and all. God bless. Semper Fi. Freedom for all. Justice for all. Equality for all. Ooh, that was a good one, Blue Cord. Thank you. Chance favors the prepared mind. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours.